But Chris, and we're going to move this on to a very important point. We're talking about connected TV, TV apps. We've touched on this. We've mentioned premium content. Let's talk about that. Are content owners going to play if and only if the content is secure, they can monetize?
Well, absolutely.
Isn't that the huge fear of this, which could bring the whole thing down, that leaves it in the preview?
Well, I think there is so much content out there today that there is more than enough to spread across a really large range of consumption windows. So if you look down to the free and ad-supported side, there's plenty of content to drive that and fund that. But on the premium side, in the earlier release windows for premium content, there's a huge challenge. And that challenge is that the current content security paradigm has been out there now for about 15 years with elementary DRM systems. And we've seen some incredible failures of some business models take place as a result of DRM that's been hacked. Because
without naming specifically?
Without naming specific names. There are quite a few of them, actually, and there's some really big names. And the reason for that is because these paradigms are about static security. You do your best effort at initial attack resistance, you put it out there, and some poor guy has to go and base their entire business model on what you've done. So where Irdeto is moving now, and where we think the industry and the requirements of content providers are moving, is towards a more dynamic security paradigm, where instead of just looking, especially in an app-based world, just looking at the DRM, you have to look at the threat model of the entire application so that you address every point of potential attack where that could be compromised. And then you have to address it not only on a first best effort basis, but on an ongoing basis. And you have to follow the threats as they emerge, and you have to dynamically respond to those.
Isn't this your worst nightmare, you guys in the middle?
See, the thing is, I don't know. I'm not sure that the industry are obsessed with DRM, and they have, well, the content owning and broadcasting industry are obsessed with it, and they have every right to be, because it's their asset. It pays for their cameramen and their scripts and everything that they do. And I don't believe in piracy because it stifles innovation and getting things out there. But I also think that they worry a bit too much about DRM when it comes to connected TVs. Now, that's not to take away from these technologies, which are vital. We deliver apps to the web as well. The web is very easy. You could have, buy a Hacking for Dummies book, and you could figure out how to catch some streams on the web. But through our devices, the device almost acts like a firewall. If you would need 2 or 3 PhDs to be able to hack into a Samsung and find out where the stream is and copy it. It's very hard. So implicitly delivering to connected TVs weakens the reliance on DRM, and I think that's maybe what the content owners have started to...
We're seeing this exactly. If I can echo what Steve's saying, is that the PC is a very insecure and vulnerable delivery device. When you look at authenticated, where the actual authentication of the user is encrypted and secure, and there is no copy to copy. You don't need to copy protect when there's no copy, it's a stream. So you're looking at stream interception. Then you're looking at all the different CDNs involved and the devices involved. The threat goes right down compared with a download, a progressive download of something onto a PC, which is actually where iPlayer started. I mean, everyone's iPlayer initially was download progressive onto a PC. Now it's stream dynamic to device. Now this does change the security model a little bit, and we're seeing a lot of content owners willing to trade off hard DRM for distribution. So if we can give them very wide distribution to multiple manufacturers in a single integration with a secure payments wall protecting their content and without any copies anywhere, then they're actually willing to go for that.
If I was in the world of IT security, I'd call that a pitch for risk management and risk mitigation.
Well, I'd call it early days. I mean, I think that piracy follows where the money is, and piracy invests literally millions and millions of whatever currency you can think of into breaking these business models in order to intercept premium content. So I think today connected TV as a platform is not necessarily handling a huge amount of premium content, so perhaps the existing systems are suitable for that. But we've seen some of the major new over-the-top set-top boxes that have come out from very reputable manufacturers have root-level hardware attacks successfully take place. And this has a huge potential to damage business models that are running on those platforms. And luckily, what we're seeing is that some of these platforms that are using our technology are still immune even from a hardware attack because they're hardening and using dynamic security for the software application that runs on that hardware.
I think also that there's an idea that I think you're sort of intercepting the premium content. That's the point. The pirates aren't necessarily looking to absolutely replicate the business models that the people they're attacking are operating. What they're looking for is getting their hands on premium content pre-window to enable them to make cheap DVDs and sell them in market stalls around the world pre-release, and that's what's happening. And so, as someone who's bought film rights in the past, and I think you're doing that now, Steve, you can go to the studios and you can show them cast iron security, and you can demonstrate a completely convincing case, but irrational, illogical, however you want to call it, sometimes it's not worth the risk of releasing it at that point. We have a discussion, a group of people saying in a world where there's going to be so much bundling and unbundling and fragmentation and cross-platform delivery on a global basis that at some point it's going to be absolutely impossible to really stop pirates accessing, and as you say, they follow the money. Everything's hackable if it's worth hacking.